it's Pam from Style Crafts by Pam, and welcome to another Craft Your Stash Thursday, where we take the supplies we either have or supplies we just bought or whatever we would like, and working with it to create something new. Um, I'm just going to give y'all a few minutes to join. And once you do, feel free to say hi in the chat. Okay, sorry. Okay, so for this week, I decided to pull out a crop and create, um, I don't know, leftovers. I sign up for these online events every now and then. I haven't signed up for any for a few years now. Maybe I've done like one class here and there, but not like one of these big events where they have all these different companies coming together, or even Stamp Joy from Tailored Expressions, where they do a bunch of classes using their products. So, anyways, I have a box full of classes that I have received from those different events that I have not completed yet. So, for example, when this crop and create happened, I actually was pregnant with my first kid, and it was not a great experience as far as, the morning sickness goes. I was pretty much all day sickness, is what I had for about 6 months. So once this rolled around, not only had I just, not only was I pregnant, but I had just moved to a new house, my first house. So all my stuff was packed up, and I didn't feel well enough to actually unpack it and get into my craft room and do anything. I also didn't even feel well enough to sit there and watch the classes. So I just figured, I'll get to it when I get to it. And slowly since then, about 2 years ago, this is the September, so the fall 2022 crop and create. Since then, I've just been slowly knocking out some of the classes. So I decided to pull from, there's a class here, it was Hero Arts, and Lauren Basson taught it, but it's this card right here. And tonight I kind of was playing around and I put this card together. So I wanted to just work on another one. I had another watercolor piece that I didn't create into a card yet that I was going to go ahead and create into a second card, because I can always use cards for my birthday stash. But I'll also show you how I made it. But I have a dry one so I can, make a completed card. So just checking in the chat. All right, guys, so let's go ahead and get started. So for this class, I had to pull out, or at least this card from this class, a range of rainbow colored inks. So pink through blue minus the purple. And I just pulled out one of my round paintbrushes. This is a size 6. And I have a water cup right here. So this is going to be some watercoloring, and it's really pretty basic. It's just laying down the color and then slowly transitioning to the next color and then doing that all the way down the panel. So I'm going to actually move these this way because you don't need to see them, but you do need to see the panel. And move this over here on my computer just so I can see the chat. All right, so I am going to go ahead and start with my first color. And just a reminder, you do not have to have what I have. You do not have to do what I'm doing. You can bring along any project that you want to work on and just hang out and craft and chat with me. That's pretty much all this is. No, no pressure. So I might not even do this really as a class. I might just sit there and talk randomly while I'm doing stuff. So I'm going to start off with the pink. I feel like there was some orange in this. I'm not sure. I don't know how clean my water is. But I'm going to start at the top and just lay down my pink. And this is a really pretty pink. This is one of my favorite pinks from Catherine Pooler. It's called Party Dress. And her inks are, they're water-based, but they're water reactive. And they do really well for watercoloring, I learned tonight when I made my first card. So I'm glad that I invested in my Catherine Pooler inks. I've got most of the mini inks. I had and the re-inkers. I did not invest in the larger ink pads just because like I wasn't a big fan of the oval shape, but I really like the inks and I really like the colors she has. So now I'm just going in with the orange. Like I said, very basic watercoloring. I am not a watercolorist, but I can follow some directions. So now I'm going to try to blend the two colors together so they kind of fade into one another. Add more pink. Feel free to let me know what you are crafting or working on tonight. Like I said, I'm just working on craft kits that I haven't had a chance to complete. Slowly but surely. And there's nothing wrong with the kits. I mean, to be honest, I picked my favorites to do first, but there's some really awesome products and cards in these kits. See, I'm getting orange down here, but I think I'm just inky from earlier, but it is what it is. Could probably try to remove some of that. There's a short amount of time, I think, where you can remove your watercolor from your cardstock before it actually like sets in. I think I missed that point though. So I actually started this a little bit earlier when we had a thunderstorm. I am over here in South Jersey, so you know, the weather's kind of unpredictable. Sometimes it says it's going to be really severe and then it's not. I think it's part of it is living close to the ocean. And the wind just kind of pushing the weather away. I don't know. I'm not a meteorologist, but sometimes they don't know what they're doing either, right? Is this what the, no, that's orange. This is yellow. So for the orange, I use Tiki Torch, and for yellow, I'm using Limoncello. I just felt like I needed to make my yellow darker. You can always add more color, but you can't always take it away. Let that fade. Go back up here again. Do more of a fade. I'm running out of spots on my desk to put my ink colors. This is where a paint palette would come in handy. I don't have one that would do what I need it to do. And if you're joining me tonight, let me know if the sound is okay, because I won't know otherwise. But everything checked out okay before I got started. But you never know with tech. Okay, I think we're gonna have too much room for a blue. I might add purple in this one. I don't know. We are gonna cut it down, so I'm also gonna decide between this or the other one I already created to see which one I want to work with tonight. Now the blue, I found I had to layer a lot. This is cummerbund, and sort of a light blue, or it can be light. So I'm not adding as much water to it as the other colors. I do have to smush it a few times to get enough color. See, that orange is messing me up down here, but it's okay. If you haven't noticed already, I'm a messy watercolor. I just kind of wing it. I want to try to get more of a teal between the green and the blue. Might just mix the two colors together. Maybe like this nice green. Ooh, that's pretty. I'll go back and add more blue to the bottom. There's too much water. It's too light. Try it without adding water. Alright, I'll try to get a blend here. My paper's kind of pilling up, but it is watercolor paper. See if we can lighten this transition here. Alright, I'm trying to get some of that card stuck off. That's peeling up. Alright. I think I just need a little bit more pink for the top. I don't know what happened there. Okay, now I can go ahead and heat set it. See how it looks compared to the other one. Oops. Hi, Allison. Nice to have you here. Glad to hear that you're going to be crafting too. Feel free to let me know what you're going to be working on. I'm just working on some past classes that are unfinished from different events I've signed up for. Oh, I got green. Look at that. You know what? Maybe this panel could use some splatter. You know, because we have all this ink on the board that's not being used. So maybe we can try to use it by splattering. There's orange. Do some green. Do some pink. I guess we can do some yellow. I don't know if that'll show up. Sorry, I think I have that out of view a little bit. So now it's kind of looking like confetti. And you know, to amp it up just a little bit more, I have some of this metallic mist unicorn sparkle from Tailored Expressions. I'm going to spray this on there. Make it nice and sparkly. Make sure I get all the pigment. And you're supposed to just roll it. I'm not good at remembering that. So just spray off camera. Then we can take a look at that. Let's see if you can see the sparkle. Oh my gosh, look at that sparkle. Sparkle, sorry. Okay, I feel like I need to do that to my next card. Okay, I'm going to save this panel for another project. Or, since I did it this way last time, I did a stencil on top. Maybe this time I can do one with more of like a confetti. What do you think? Either streamers or rainbow confetti. Let me put these to the side so I can clean up. And if you're a part of the replay crew, go ahead and comment below what you might have used. If you would have gone with the rainbow confetti or doing another streamer one, which is what we would do with this panel that I have prepared. All right, let's go with the confetti. So that means one step is already out of the way, which was using blending brushes. If I have time, I'll do the other one as well. But for now, let's work with this one. And I think I'm going to add sparkle to this one while I'm at it, just so I remember for later. That's a really pretty sparkle. See, look at that. Oh, that's awesome. So that's like one spray I have that I'm running out of. So I'm glad that I know where I can get this now. All right, let's put these to the side. So then my next step for this, instead of doing a stencil, which was just placed over and then each color was done, blended over the watercolor, I'm going to go ahead and cut this panel down. If I did not put my die away, here it is. Okay, I think I used this one. And see, then you're not even going to see this. I kind of like that too, though, but I'm going to try to make sure I include some of the pink. There's plenty of blue. Okay. See, this is just to show you mistakes can turn into purposeful things. So here's the panel we're going to work with. I'll tell you one thing I need in a scratch room is a better, more comfortable chair. Because I'm always readjusting myself. I just want one of those chairs where you can, it has a spot for you to curl your legs up, because I do that all the time and then they just fall off the chair. And then I have to readjust again. So this is the stamp set that came with the kit. It's Hero Art's Yay Birthday Bundle. That's what they were calling it. So it came with some dies and a stamp set. I believe this is still available, which I'm confused about. I thought Hero Arts went out of business, but now I'm seeing them selling again. So did another company pick them up and then use the same name? I'm not really sure, but feel free to tell me if you know. So from this set, last time I used Make-A-Wish, and I think I want to do something different. So if I want to make it similar with like the bubble word, I would use Yay. But I kind of like the idea of doing Hip Hooray. And I can just, I did some white gel pen on this, and I can still do that on the Hooray. Okay, Spellbinders. That's what I thought. Spellbinders bought them. So I guess they're still just selling under Hero Arts because they still have a website, and I see new stuff on there all the time. We're gonna need the Hooray. And do we want to do a cake or a candle? I have this candle here we could do. Maybe do a couple of them. I know some 3-year-old birthdays that are coming up. Could do 3 of them. That's what I think we're going to do. We're going to do some candles. And we need Hooray and Hip Hip. And we're just modifying this card a little bit because this pretty much followed the class other than the black shadows that I added and the black border I added. It had white in the class. So the candles, you're going to actually stamp them in colors. So I'm going to do pink. Should I do pink, yellow, and blue? I could do orange, yellow, green. I could do a bunch of things. But I do need some cardstock, and since I'm not going to be watercoloring anymore, I'll just use some regular cardstock. Bring out my Misty. Oops. Now I'm dropping things. That is okay. My husband's probably wondering what is going on in here. Okay. Get these out of the way. Bring this up. Put that to the side. And put that in my Misty. Good thing my fingers weren't there. So I'm going to do a couple of things. I'm going to stamp our candles, and then I'm going to end up stamping Hooray in black. I'll start with our candles. And I wonder, okay, we won't do yellow because we're going to make the flame yellow. I think we'll do either orange or green. I'm going to use the enamel dots that I have that came with this kit. They're in pink, blue, and green. So maybe I'll just use pink, blue, and green. Okay. That's set. So pick up our stamp. And this is going to require some masking. So I'm showing you a different technique than what I used in the original card. So I like to just use some tape to mask off. I need more space, guys. I really do. Okay, get rid of the water cup. We don't need the enamel dots right now. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and ink up our candle. pink. And I'm going to remove that mask and stamp. Give that a chance to soak into the paper. Okay, I think we're going to do it one more time. Mask off the frame. Add some ink. This is where small ink pads come in handy, because I don't have to worry about a big ink pad inking up too much of the stamp where I don't want it. Okay, I think that's good enough because it's going to dry a little bit more, I don't know the word I'm looking for, even. So now I'm going to do another color. So I'm just going to ink or mask off the candle. Add my ink, and I don't have to clean it off because it's just the pink ink. I didn't move our paper. And that looks like that's good. So now I can clean off the candle. So we move on to the next color. I'm going to put that here, make sure I leave room to die cut. Close up my pink and open green. Okay. And then some more tape. Mask off the flame. I'll do green. And I'll do that one more time. So if you're just joining us, I am working on a class kit from a past event, Crop and Create, because I'm trying to use my stash and use the supplies I have to craft instead of, you know, always trying to buy new things. And we're just doing some masking right now. This was the original card from the class. Make sure that's in view. But we're going to go with a different idea this time because I accidentally got some green on here. So I decided to splatter with all the colors on this my rainbow panel to make it look more purposeful. And now we're just stamping our candles by doing some masking. So feel free to grab what you have. You can work alongside me with whatever supplies you may have, or you can work on something completely different. Just work on something in your stash. Work on an old kit or a project, something you've been meaning to get to. Feel free to jump in the chat and say hi. I can't talk to this at the same time, so I'm hoping I'm not making a mistake, but if I do, then I will fix it somehow. Just like we did earlier. now we're gonna do the blue. So I'm getting another piece of tape. Mask off my flame. I think that's masked off. There we go. And then ink it up with our blue, which is Cummerbund from Catherine Polar. You see that? Hi, Mikey. How are you? I almost stamped that blue over the green. See, I told you I would try to make a mistake. Not on purpose, but I was bound to make a mistake. Alright, we kind of salvaged that. But now I need more blue. Mikey, thank you for joining us. I know you may not be crafting, but you never know. Right now, I guess I would imagine you playing video games or something. If I wasn't clear, Mikey's a friend of mine that I know from way back when, when we were young. So I know he doesn't really craft like that, but things could have changed. Yes, I almost messed up bad. I could have just redid it. I have a feeling I'm going to need to do this blue 3 times. Yeah, it's just not picking up the color like I wanted to. I want to try to clean this stamp. Oh, happy little accidents, Allison. Yes. Isn't that what Bob Ross says? I never really watched. I mean, I watched him as a kid, but I didn't really know what he was saying. As an adult, I know that he was talking about happy little trees. And that's about it. But I used to watch him, as I'm sure many people did, and pretend that I was painting, or actually painting. I don't remember if I was pretending or if I was actually doing it. But I would be following right along with him. But I'm not much of a painter. I have paintings in my room that I followed step-by-step tutorials for. There's a girl named Jessie, I think it's Robertson, and she does great painting tutorials. Like, I didn't think I could paint before. Yep. She made me believe I could paint. At least by following a tutorial. Oh gosh, Pam Ross. What I could have done too is I could have added some orange to these flames. But maybe I could color them in with some orange, use some watercolor. Maybe. I'm just kind of winging it right now. So Mikey, if you're not crafting, what are you working on tonight? And Allison, I don't think you told me what you were working on yet. Alright, so now we've got our candle done. Did I clean this? No. I'm going to go ahead and stamp my hooray. I've got ink on my hands. I'm getting it everywhere. So let's see. I am going to use my VersaFine Clair for inking up the Hooray because it is a sentiment, and VersaFine Clear is a pigment ink, but it stamps such a crisp image that I love using it for sentiments. Porch sitting. Are you porch sitting and watching thunderstorms again? I know we thought our thunderstorm was going to be a doozy, but like it literally rolled in and then rolled out. It was a bit of an understatement for what it should have been, or at least what the weather people called for. So I'm not getting ink right here, so I think I need to just wipe this off a little bit. Sometimes when you first use a stamp, you need to kind of condition it because of the residue that might be left on there from being made. So sometimes I will stamp with Versamark and then use an ink, the ink color I want to use to stamp it. Okay, we can just get that one spot. You know what? It's good enough. I'm just going to use a pen. Fill it in. Look at that. No one would ever know except for you guys. Oh no, lightning hit your backyard. Oh gosh, that's scary. See, I know you, Mikey. It may be a year since, you know. Well, not since we've hung out, but I still know you. Oh, Allison, you went bike riding. How was that? I can't remember the last time I was actually on a bike. It was definitely years ago, but it was while I was in Jersey, but at my previous address. I just remember my butt hurting after that. And it was so awkward. It was during the time that COVID just started. So we were wearing masks while riding our bikes. And we were like, maybe we don't need to wear a mask on our bike while we're trying to breathe and pedal and all that. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and die cut my Hooray and one of my candles. So we got one candle. I should have really heat set my Hooray, but I was talking and doing things at the same time. So I just gotta be careful in popping this out. $90? Wow. I think it got up to 90 here. But it was very muggy. I guess because it was going to rain. And it had rained slightly earlier today. Just gross. Okay, now I'm going to do this other candle. Too bad I don't have more than one candle die. But that's okay. They couldn't predict how I was going to use this. Here's our green candle. And one more. I have like so much shadow on my desk, it's hard to tell where my dye is. So I think I'm cutting it out how it should be. Maybe off just a little bit. Yeah, that one's off just a tiny bit, but that's okay. Okay, so now I can put these dyes to the side. Bring back our watercolor panel. And start aligning this up. Oh, see, maybe I should have. Okay, we're going to have to rework this a little bit because this doesn't fit the vertical way. So maybe we'll do horizontal. And we have to have room for our hip hip and our candles. I might have to shorten our candles and just put it like this. Or actually, I want my rainbow like this. Put the hooray, put the hip hip, and then put our 3 candles. I think I want to watercolor those candles in. I might actually just do it with yellow. So let's do that first. Water. Because I don't want to mess up the stamp part that's already stamped. I just want to add to this. Now you guys gotta let me know. I don't remember, but like when you're looking at a candle in pictures and whatnot, is the orange on the outside or is it on the inside of the flame? Because I can't remember. Oh, that's true, Mikey. I could probably hide that green spot. If I flip it the other way. We'll have to play around with it once I'm done with this. I feel like the orange would be on the inside and the yellow would be on the outside. But I think I am going to just put a tad bit of orange at the very bottom. Now we had an orange ink. Here it is. I'm just gonna, whoop. Where's my paper towel? You should probably always have a paper towel nearby if you're doing watercolor. Okay. Too much water. Okay. Oh, I don't even want to touch it anymore. Okay, I'm just going to do the little bit of orange at the bottom of the flame. Just to give it a little bit more dimension. Hooray, I messed up, yes. That would be so appropriate right now, right? Ugh. I use water. Okay, so let's take a look at this. If we do it this way, we cannot cover up that spot. If we do it this way, we could potentially cover that, but maybe we would put make it blue, green, pink to make it line up with these colors. I don't know, I feel like that's too far away. I feel like I want them more like that. It's probably less noticeable if it's on the bottom. I don't know, what do you guys think? Should I put the pink color all the way on the left side, or should I put it on the right side and switch it with the blue? In the meantime, I am going to create my backer for my Hooray. I'm debating whether I want them for my candles or not. So what I'm talking about is like what I did here is I added the black shadow behind the cake and behind the word wish. So I can definitely add that behind Hooray, but whether or not to add it behind the candles, I'm not sure. Show us a switch. So this is this way. And this would be the other way. I just need to grab some black paper. Just have a scrap piece here. Using my stash. So I only need one of these, but I need this tape. This is a highlighter tape. At least that's how you'll find it. It's called highlighter tape. And it's low tack tape that works great for dies. And it comes in all sorts of colors, just like highlighters do. Okay, Mikey says he likes number 1 better, so with the pink all the way to the left. So here's our Hooray, and that's just going to give it a little bit of oomph. And let's see what the candles look like if I do it, because I don't know if we're kind of implying that these are see-through. And I guess regardless, it would have some type of shadow. Okay. Do we want a shadow on the candles or no? Now I think we're going to go ahead and flip this the other way. But here's our candle. With the black shadow. Oops. And without the black shadow. I'm going to go ahead and glue on our Hooray. Allison says go for it. So I guess that means put the shadow on. I really do like the shadow. I think it gives it more depth and dimension. do it this way. Yep. So that's our hooray with the shadow. Let's go ahead and do the candle with the shadow. We just gotta die cut 2 more. Okay, yes, shadow. So there is 1. Let's do 2 more. One more black one. And second. So the tape came off, but that's on the back, so that is okay. So add our glue. Then we want to offset it on the shadow. So I'm pulling it down just a little bit and to the right just a little bit to get that shadow. So down and to the right. Okay. So next we're going to have to stamp our hip. So I'm going to need my Misty, which I think I used it earlier. We used it earlier, right? I just gotta find it. Here it is. Okay. So I'm gonna do it this way. Put our watercolor piece in. And we're doing it with the pink on the left. And I also use, if I can find it. Here we are. I also like to use one of these grids that I got from Tailored Expressions. It helps me to line up and center my sentiment. So we're just going to put these down kind of how we would have them. I think these candles need some sparkle. And then we're going to line up hip. So I might get in the camera just a little bit here. Try not to. And then I just count the blocks. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then I'm going to make sure it's straight. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Still a little bit that way. All right. Add some sparkle. Can never have enough sparkle, right? So now we can pick up the stamp. We'll take all these pieces off. Lift up our grid. And hi, Tony. Thanks for joining. And we're going to use VersaFine Clair because that is our pigment ink and it stamps so nicely. Usually you only have to do it one time. But I'm I'm going to do it twice for good luck. And because it actually needs more. I think we might run into the same problem where the stamp has some residue left on it. No, that's good enough. Okay. So now we got that stamped, you can start building up the card. So I always find it best to pop things up when I can. I just like it. I can't tell you why. I don't know. But I love the look of it. And then these candles we're going to end up cutting off at the bottom once we have them glued down. So I'm going to need some squares. And I think I'm going to need some strips as well. And for our sparkle, I think I'm going to just add a little bit, but do it with our clear North of Stella, if there's any in here. Oh, this one usually has like a gold finish. I want it more silvery or white, so I'm going to use this Spectrum Noir glitter pen. So I'm just putting it on the flame instead of the whole candle, since our background is sparkly already. Alright. You should be able to see that. Sparkle! So fun. That's my next birthday card. Yeah, I'm making this for a 3-year-old Tony. That's why I decided with 3 candles. So I know I have a few nieces whose birthdays are coming up. Alright, so I am going to, let's go ahead and put the strips on the candles. Oops. So these strips I got from Amazon in bulk. A lot of companies sell them, and I just peeled off 2 at a time because that's how thick the candle is. But you can get these in bulk for cheap on Amazon, and I would recommend doing it that way. Oh, the backing is still on here. That's why it's not sticking. I was like, why is this not sticking? Okay. Then I'm going to have to trim the bottom part of the candle. Put some on the top so it doesn't show through to the other side. So do the bottom of the candle. Cut it. Cut it better than that. And then this still has backing on it on this side. So I'm going to use the other side. And cut. One more. Hip Hooray. It's your birthday. Okay, Tony, I can do that. I definitely have Hip Hooray somewhere. Just not on this step. Alright, so now I have to, I'm going to go out of frame for a minute just so I can get this backing off. Like came off the sheet weird. Okay. So I'm going to put that there. Now we can go ahead and put squares and such on our hooray. This is going to be a mix. The big squares on the O's, little one on the R, little one on the A. Probably strips for the rest. So we'll do one here. One here. Do the Y. And the exclamation point. Okay. So now we can go ahead and put our hooray on. What is everybody's bedtime? Because I feel like I'm nearing my bedtime. You'd think as I get older that it would get later and later, but it just gets sooner and sooner. And I can do our candles. We'll start with the middle one, which I already removed the adhesive. Okay, my computer just acted up for a minute, so if I'm not live, I apologize. But I think we're okay. So we got our one green candle. Just make sure it's straight. It's me, I'm 3. Oh, this is for your birthday? Okay. I forgot you were 3 years old. Put one this way. Then we'll put a candle going this way. Just make sure that they're all even for the most part. I think that green one needs to go over more. Okay, green one, blue one. Our pink can go over a little bit more. Alright, I think that is good. So now here's the sad part. We have to cut off the excess. Okay, now we've got our 3 candles. And we are not quite done yet. So I need some black cardstock. I'm going to check my scraps first. I keep 2 bins of random scraps, and that's for black and white cardstock because I use them the most often. And if I can't find what I need in there, then I just use a new sheet. For all my other cardstocks, I store them with the original color. Let's see, do I want to do this? Or do I want to do the same border as the other one? I think I want to do the same border. The big border. So we're going to cut down some cardstock. Oh, did we find one? Here we go. This just needs to be cut down once. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to pop this up on here. So I'm going to line the back with some foam adhesive. These are foam strips from Tailored Expressions. I love that they are already cut to a good size. Actually, perfect for this back. And I think, nope, I didn't do that last time. Yeah, I didn't do a stitch border. That's okay. We don't have to do a stitch border. I'm already kind of running over my time anyway, but I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. Okay, I'm going to pull this towards me so I can see. And then let's see if we want to do some enamel dots. I'm almost thinking because we did the splatters, I don't know if we really need enamel dots. And they're kind of like not the exact colors of the background. What do you guys think? Should we add enamel dots or just leave this as is? I'll see what you guys think before I do anything. So we're voting on enamel dots or no enamel dots to finish this off. If I knew how to put one of those poles, I would do that. Let me see. Oh, here we go. All right, let me know if that worked. I added a poll so you guys can vote. Either yes, no, enamel dots or not. Guy, yes. I'm gonna give it like 15 more seconds. pull out for it if we do put them on. Got no. All right, now we just need a tiebreaker. Yes or no enamel dots. Yes, no, yes, no. Yes, so 67%. All right, I think we're going with enamel dots. So let's see what we can do here. Last time I did like where it was like kind of cascading from the upper left to the lower right. Let me see if I can do that again. And it only has 3 colors on here, which is kind of disappointing. I would have liked one color of each rainbow color. This is where I struggle sometimes, is deciding where to put them. But sometimes I'll place them and then I will move them. Can't seem to get this little one up. Come on, little green dot. Not stuck to my finger. Oh boy. No, we're gonna leave that there. Get our blue dot in. Wow. That almost went in my eye. Crafting is dangerous sometimes. Alright. What do we think about that? Hi, Julie. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for joining, Allison. We'll see you next time. All right. So we're settled on that? All right. Last step. Put it on our card base. And I just have some pre-made card bases that I keep on stock. And I just need my bone folder. And I can use white because, oh, we need, because this is a horizontal card, I'm going to do a side folding card base, but top folding, if that makes sense. So this is typically called a side folding, but we're going to use it to do a top fold. I just want to make sure there's no white over the edge. Use our tape runner adhesive to adhere this. I'm going to do this in front of me. All right. So there we go. That is my card for tonight. I'm going to just lift it up so you guys can see that there is shimmer and sparkle. And I think our 3-year-old will like it. Not my 3-year-old, but the 3-year-old I decided to give it to. It doesn't have to be a 3-year-old though. It could just be anybody. It doesn't have to match the candles, right? So I just want to thank you guys so much for joining me today. And just remind you that I'll be on again next week on next Thursday at 8 o'clock. I don't typically let you guys know what I'm doing ahead of time, but it's just a craft your stash, craft and chat. You bring your supplies, bring what projects you have, follow along with me if you'd like, or just do your own thing and just hang out and chat with us. So, thank you again, and I will catch you guys next time. Bye!